Hello people, you're welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, it's been 24 hours of rejuvenation because I sound so good. So of course you can see the faces of the housemates who are out of the competition. So far so good. Tonight is the 8th live eviction and we're expecting that craziness is going to be unleashed. Now of course there were multiple strikes today. There was chaotic banter fight and dragging on live television. This and more is what you're going to get in this video. So of course, as usual, please just take note that I wouldn't be attaching bbnaija videos to my video. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Now of course, you don't like that, you can check other channels, watch it and come back here so we can banter and drag each other in your face. Of course, I need you to give this video a thumbs up, share comments down below, share this video so that more people can get to see and, you know, we get to enjoy every craziness that we're bringing up on this table. Now, of course, the show started with Big Brother giving us a recap of the week generally. And then, of course, before that happened, what am I saying too much, of course? Big Brother issued multiple strikes to the housemates Doyin and Pere for destroying Big Brother's property and guarding. Now, guarding is like, what does it mean necessarily? You're just energizing somebody, pushing somebody towards the edge to do something rash, especially cause physical damage. So the both of them both got 1-1 strikes each. If they get 2 more, that's if they stay in the competition, they will be evicted from Biggie's verse. Now, of course, moving on from that, Ebuka introduced the show as we went through the games, the wager games. We went through the head of house challenge and so much more before Ebuka went into the lounge and spoke to Mashallah. He was asking him that he wants the head of house, and then a lot of people were pissed, especially the likes of Kim Oprah. Basically, that was the only person who seemingly was agitated about what he did with his BFFs. And then Ebuka asked him, why did you choose the number of people you chose for your BFFs? And Mashallah responded saying that, just like he said it before, he's saying it again, that a lot of people seem to have been pairing themselves in twos, and he didn't want to end up picking people that were in a pair and then it starts seeming as though he was being chaotic to separate a good bond or friendship of love or ship or whatever it was. Ebuka then moved on to Kim Oprah, whom he asked, like, girl, you've been doing a lot of things since you came in. What is this with you in the mix of 2 friends, that is Khosi and Pere? And then she went on to say that of course, he was asking her that she was complaining that Pere was ignoring her, yet she's been having very intimate sessions and times with Khosi. And she said she knew them individually, separately, outside of the house. So it wasn't a bad thing to build a bond with them, even in the house. But she noticed that Pere was avoiding her and she needed to find out and settle that whatever it was. And the craziest thing in Big Brother's house ever, the craziest thing that has ever happened in any live eviction happened today. Ebuka went back into the house to ask Doyin a question that he is intentional about talking to her today because she says she hopes that Ebuka asks her this question. She was having a conversation with CeeC and it was about Venita. Now she needed and had a lot of things to talk or say about Venita. Ebuka asked her, okay, go ahead, tell us what it is about Venita. And then Doyin spilled crazy. I mean, Doyin dragged all of Venita's wigs from week 1 to week 7 and then splashed it on her face and destroyed her makeup. Doyin responded saying that Venita is a very spiteful person who seems to be vile. She likes to only thrive in conditions and environments where other people are suffering. She likes to see people beneath her. She is someone who just wants to see every other person in pain while she soars in enjoyment and peace. She went on to say that Venita owes Adekunle a thank you for the fact that it is because of him that she's still in this show, and that, you know, in any place, any day, she's going to tell this to her face. That was why she needed to say this. You guys can see the reaction in Venita's face. Venita was in utter shock. Every one of us here were shouting because what in the world? And you think that the shock in Venita's face and every other person, both in the live eviction stage with Ebuka and in the house who were shouting, you think it was just that? Doyin went on to call her an old lady who should consider her age and act her age in the show. Like, literally, Hey, see, let me just put it to you. If Doyin leaves this show tonight, Venita will drag her for the next 1 week. That's for sure. And see how she has thrived against or above Doyin. But if not, this is where, they don't need to tell you anything. Two people, somebody has declared war between two people. And the other person had been expecting the war all this while. So let's see how that actually unfolds. And it was now time to go into the evictions incomplete. Now, today, I think it was going to be quite emotional because it was to me. But you know what it is? Ebuka went into the house and told all the housemates who were up for eviction to get up as he was going to announce the first housemates. First, the way he said it, I know that at least 2 or 3 are going to leave the show. So he said that the first housemate to leave the show is Kim Opera. Now, of course, we all knew that this was going to happen. Now, amongst all the new guests, if you were nominated for the week, you're going to leave that week. So, of course, even Big Brother had a conversation with her earlier today. And although she didn't want to leave, but, it is what it is, girl. Bye. And then she said that she was not in the house to instigate 2 friends to have issues or anything. She was just having fun. And she's sure she did what she wanted or what she was supposed to do. Ebuka went back into the show and showed the eviction nomination and the black envelope search and a whole lot of things, and those who got immunity and everything. And by the time he was done, he had to move on to the next eviction. Ebuka then announced that the next housemate to be evicted is Doyin. Now, let me be honest. People shouted, screamed in shock, and then here was her friend that she has always protected from the day one. Ilebaye just ran to her, hugged her, and the both of them were crying. I'm like, what is this? See, friendship, although we're not going to ignore each other somehow, like literally she spent her more than 12 or 10 seconds on doing and they were just like hugging and crying. WhiteMoney separated them, got a hug. People hugged her, but I'm so sure that Adekunle, him and his sugar mama, Venita, I'm so sure that they were happy for what happened. And of course, Ebuka welcomed Doyin to the stage where he asked her the questions of she played a good game, but she had an issue of not having someone have her back, both in her last season and this season. What does she think is really the issue? And, Doyin confessed that it was her mouth, that she feels she talks too much, and that is always making it look that way. And then Ebuka went on to welcome back the housemates in the lounge where he spoke to Adekunle. He asked Adekunle that he was speaking to CeeC, and then he pissed Venita off that they were having a conversation that seemed very secretive or intimate, and then it was about something. So Ebuka had to ask him, what was that about? And then here was Adekunle responding that it was about a letter, which obviously Ebuka had revealed, but he didn't know who it was from. And Ebuka asked him what was the details of that letter. He responded that it said, I really value you. Venita is not important. She's just a facade, and that after we leave the show, you'll now see where true love and true relationship is. And God, do you know why that was happening? We could see the actual culprit smiling and rubbing her hair like she doesn't know what was happening, but she knew what was happening. Y'all know, right? It was Angel who wrote that, and here was Venita having a shock on her face, and then Ebuka had to ask Adekunle, who do you think wrote that letter? He said his first imagination was or suspicion. English no go kill me for this thing. His first suspicion was Kim Opera, but then he was like, nah, the actual person he feels it might be is CeeC. Now, this was because of a reason. When that letter was planted, we know that it was Angel who wrote it and planted it. She used CeeC's perfume, her main perfume that she would spray from morning till night or whenever, and sprayed on that letter, and that was why he suspected that. Now, of course, Ebuka had to speak to CeeC and ask her, did you write that letter? She said, me, write letter. I know they see this boy for this house, so I beg Mona carry that one come off my head. I've not written any letter to anybody, but I think it might be Doyin, because Doyin wrote a letter to me and Alex earlier today and stuff. So of course we're hoping that this will later cause trouble between CeeC and Venita. These two girls are avoiding each other to fight. This fight, you must fight it. And Ebuka obviously went back into the house, and we noticed how Pere was already castigating and soiling Doyin's name. Ilebaye had to ask him, we saw a little bit of, sensual connection with you and Masieke from your dance party down to the dressing room, and Ilebaye was even trying to stop you guys from all the multiple kisses you guys were taking. And Pere was like, me and her are just cool, nothing. And oh my God, I was like, please, of all things you come and enjoy this shit is not a lie. I beg Jerry. Anyways, before the eviction started, I needed to point this out because maybe this might cause trouble. So Ilebaye took CeeC's foundation, and went downstairs. Maybe after using it, she went downstairs and dropped it lackadaisically and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. She was literally pissed, and she said by the time, she's not going to shout or do anything so they don't see that she's bullying anybody, but by the time she's done talking to Ilebaye is going to have something like a depression or something. Me, I don't really care. What I care is the aftermath of the chaos that is going to happen tonight. So of course, let me just get right into it, right? Guys, thank you for always being here. I'm going to see you on the next video. Let's not waste each other's time. There's a lot that's going to unfold this night. See you on the next video.